Next up, we have a couple of presentations from the community.
Yep. First up, we have Parag from Unifique talking all about workflow extensions, followed by Ola and Roman from Cohorta, who actually made an app specifically for Dev Day.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for this opportunity and excited to be here. So yeah, let's get right into it. Today I'm going to be talking about custom workflow actions. We want to learn how to create custom workflow actions and show you a specific use case, an app that Unifique has. So we'll cover an introduction to what they are. We'll also cover an example and how to build custom workflow actions. And lastly, the things you need to be careful about when you're building those workflow actions. Why listen to us? Unifique has been part of the HubSpot marketplace since 2014. We integrate Shopify, Magento, WooCommerce, and BigCommerce with HubSpot. We have 4 certified integration apps on the HubSpot app marketplace and 4 dynamic coupons apps as well. Let's get into it. Here's the introduction. So coupon workflow actions are a system to call external apps or APIs that can perform tasks outside of HubSpot. They're an opportunity for app developers to create their own workflow actions. They're a much better user experience than webhooks. I'm sure as a developer, there have been many instances where you've had to explain how to use a webhook to a customer. And there are all sorts of issues with copying, pasting incorrectly, and things like that. They're a full substitute for webhooks as well. And the developers get their wish to be as creative and impactful as possible, and while still making the user experience extremely well for your customers. How do HubSpot users benefit? So in today's marketing stack, there's an ever-growing list of apps that need to work together. The end customer's journey can be just disjointed with too many apps that don't talk to each other, and the workflows actions are a way for us developers to make that easier. Non-technical users have a big challenge when you're trying to set up automations, but with their custom actions, they can get their work done much faster without having to wait from a developer. They can integrate multiple tools as they please. Let's go into the use case. The goal of your use case is to increase abandoned cart conversion rate with a dynamic coupon delivered to the customer at the right time. What we're talking about here is personalization at scale. Once you create a workflow, that workflow will always run unless you turn it off. And we want to use the events in the shopping cart that are happening to trigger the workflow so it's a very personalized coupon that can be sent. So let's get into it. Here we're configuring a coupon rule inside of the Unifique app. We've created a Halloween abandoned cart discount, and there are many configuration options here, as you can see. Now, one reason we did it this way is because custom actions should be very easy to use and have very few options inside of HubSpot workflows. You can add lots of options, but it would be a bad user experience. So we want to keep that part of it minimal, so it's simple on the HubSpot side to use. So we had to show the options in here. Okay, let's build a workflow. Here we're targeting abandoned carts with customers who spent less than $50. We want to personalize the value of the coupon to match the needs. So for example, if somebody spent $1,000 with you over their lifetime, you don't need to send them a coupon. Instead, you should send them engagement emails. But this is a way for, again, a HubSpot user to really customize and personalize how you send discounts. And of course, your custom action will have its own values. In our example, we're going to add a custom action here. And on the right side, you can see an action that we can choose. So that Shopify Dynamic Coupons is an app, and here's an action that we've created. So today we'll be discussing how do we create this option inside of the workflow builder. Once an action is added to the workflow, there's an option to configure it. There's an opportunity to configure it. And that Halloween abandoned cart discount that we've created from Unifique into this coupon section. This is a coupon rule and is a property that we define when we create the action, which we'll discuss later. Create a coupon action has been added to the workflow. So this means we fetched the options from Unifique, and we've also configured the coupon. So now it's ready to use. And let's skip the step. I do want to discuss an additional event we've added here, delay until event happens. We want to send an email, but of course we want to make sure the coupon actually exists in HubSpot before we send it. So property value has changed. This is something called blocking. We don't want to send an empty coupon, of course, because it may take some time to get to Shopify or whichever store you're using and generate the coupon there and sync it back into HubSpot. So this is a blocking action. We'll just go into the more details a bit about blocking actions. You can also block with the API directly. Now let's get into how do we build a coupon workflow action. Some important terms. A custom action is actually what we've been talking about. How do we actually add that to a workflow? And a callback is an execution. So every time HubSpot sends your app a request to create the coupon or execute your action, it assigns a unique callback ID so that you can do some additional work on that callback. We'll discuss that a little bit later. Configuring actions. So when the user is adding your action to the workflow, this is an opportunity for the user to configure what that action should do. Field option fetches. These are when your app is actually fetching those options from your app to display to be configured on the action. So for example, that Halloween example I used. And action execution requests, the request the app to perform the actually useful task. So when a workflow triggers our action, this is the execution of that action. There are two types of API calls, if we break it down, field option fetches and action execution requests. These allow you to separate out what your app does, but there's also customizing payloaded functions. We won't cover these today, but they're very complex ways to that HubSpot allows you to customize what should happen when these requests happen. Now let's get into defining the action. Mainly, we want to define what the action should look like, what labels they should have, and it's explainable to the user and understandable to the user. And also, we want to define what properties we want to show. So if there are drop downs on the action, so for example, we selected the coupon rule ID in our example, we need to select a specific Halloween coupon code to run. This is the request to fetch option. So showing by example, we want to populate this dropdown. So there's an opportunity for when the customer adds your action to the workflow, an API call is made to your app to request these options. And of course, now your app needs to respond with those options. So in our example, I've responded with Halloween abandoned cart discounts and demo 10% off. So these are the two options to display. And the customer can configure those. Now, when your app receives an execution request, we need to, of course, sync that, actually run that request. So we need to generate the coupon, send it to, create it in Shopify or whichever store you have, and then sync it back into HubSpot. So for you to do that, we need to know what portal ID it is. Ideally, if you're an app, you're supporting multiple portals. Which action definition is it specifically? Which object it is, and what is the object, the contact's email address. So if you're running with this for contacts, what is the email address? And of course, input field. So you need the value that the customer selected. In an example, it was the Halloween discount codes. Blocking actions. Now, this is if your app receives a coupon, a request to generate a coupon, it needs to decide if first we should wait for your action to complete before continuing, or should we continue anyway? You can specify an expiration time as well, so the workflow can just continue. If your workflow is running and your app does not respond for a long time, the customer could be stuck in that workflow. So we don't want that, and you can customize this as you need. So here's some gotchas. If an update, we want to update existing custom actions. If there's already an instance installed for a particular portal for a workflow, then we cannot update that one. You have to create a new action before we can do that. Blocking calls. So as we discussed before, you can allow the user to block or you can block it yourself, the action from running. So when your app receives it, as we saw, there are some API calls that we can resume the blocking, resume a block call, or actually allow blocking by the user. In our case, we allow blocking by the user because we waited for a property to be updated before we continued the workflow. We of course want to verify the request source. So if you get a API request from HubSpot, we need to know it's actually from HubSpot. If it's from some other source, we don't want to run that. So we want to make sure that that signature matches. Scalability and reliability. Last thing we'll talk about is you want to make sure that your app can handle the load. So if a customer can load in enroll as many contacts as they want into a workflow, you may receive thousands or hundreds of thousands of requests very quickly from HubSpot. Of course, if your app crashes in that period of time, then the workflow will stop, or it may not continue depending how you set up blocking. But if you can build it scalably and reliably, there should be no issue. Workflows are very often time sensitive, and your application should always respond quickly. So you'll have to build some engineering some way to handle the load. Quick summary and overview. We discussed how custom workflow actions are powerful and why they're valuable to users. HubSpot users don't need to write any code to run them. HubSpot has made it very easy to build custom workflow actions. There's just a few API calls you need to create. And you have to make sure that, of course, your systems are reliable. We have, like I said, 4 different dynamic coupons app available from Magento, Shopify, BigCommerce, and WooCommerce. I've also created a use case page, just different ways you can use dynamic coupons. You can visit that on our website, unific.com. You can also search for Unific on the HubSpot app marketplace, and you can find me on the Slack channel for developers for HubSpot. With that, I will hand off the presentation to Ola and Roman. They're going to be discussing building integrations that enhance the HubSpot CMS. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Parag. In a minute, we'll share our screen.
Hello, everybody. Thanks for having us here today. A special thank you to HubSpot team for inviting us this year. We are super excited to have the chance to talk at HubSpot Developer Day 2021. Let's start by introducing ourselves. I'm Olia Goja, designer/developer and design partner at Cohorta, and my co-presenter, Roman.
Thanks, Olia. I'm Roman Kozak, full-stack developer and managing partner at Cohorta. Today, we are going to talk about how to enhance the HubSpot CMS experience. Our talk is particularly relevant to HubSpot themes creators. For that, we are going to present new HubSpot integration. Let's get started. Olia, would you mind overview our presentation?
Sure. We have organized this talk in the following way. First, a few words about us as a team, how we have come up with an app for this presentation, and how the app works. Then guide on how to build such HubSpot app, and finally some time to answer your questions. Before getting into code, let me say a few more words about us. We are a team of 2 who builds websites and integrations for the HubSpot marketplace. We also enjoy working with clients on challenging solutions. Overall, we each have 10 years of experience in design and development with numerous projects. Before, we were working on themes and templates for Shopify and WordPress, but now we are into HubSpot development for more than 2 years. Both of us love working with it, and our latest HubSpot products are Web Push and Simple. The first one is a listed HubSpot integration for marketers to send push notifications, and the second is the HubSpot theme for content creators. So what we have prepared for the audience today, Roman?
Just for this event, we have created a brand new integration called Theming. It streamlines the process of content creators setting up a demo of HubSpot themes. With this app, HubSpot developers will be able to distribute demos way more easily. Integration reduces the number of steps needed for clients to check out themes inside their own accounts. Theming can be used as a tool for marketing purposes for theme developers to gather email and feedback on the installation process. Let's now take a look at how the app works. Olia, would you mind to tell us about it?
Sure. In short, theming combines CMS and API to transfer the themes files from the developer side to the authenticated user account. Before going into details of development, let's watch a quick screen recording to grasp a full picture of what we can build together.
The screen recording of the demo takes less than a minute. Let's check it out. You may see that end user authorization through the HubSpot API. And now you may see the app success page with the link to the demo page created at the user's HubSpot account. On the slide, here's the demo link of the app itself, deployed on Firebase. Check this out on your own interact with the app after the presentation. Dennis, could you please pin this link in the chat, please?
I've added it to the chat.
After seeing the app in the action, let me tell you how to build something like that. We are going to share all the programming logic behind this.
But before that, it's worth mentioning that the full code base is on GitHub. There you can find the README file with the installation guide and comments in the code files which explain all their main programming steps. Also, the code is free to use as you see it fit.
Back to the process of building the app. Here are three main steps we are going through to build this integration. How did you start it then, Olia?
On this slide, there is a code that creates a Node.js server using popular JS framework Express. Once we have a server, we need HubSpot API credentials to authenticate end users and use API to stop demo theme. For that, we need to register a new HubSpot app. In order to create a HubSpot app, you'll need to have an app developer account. You can create HubSpot apps only from these accounts. This process is pretty simple. To create an app, all you need is a name and a redirect URL. So what's next, Roman?
Next, we can move to build an app logic. On this slide, you may see Express route where all app logic is placed. First step is to authenticate the end user. Once the authorization is done and we get an access token, we can go to uploading the theme.
Yes, we can upload a zip archive of the theme to the HubSpot account of the authenticated user. We'll need to use the CMS source code API endpoint shown on this slide. This new API, which allows uploading different files to the design manager. More details on this API in HubSpot documentation and link included. Once the theme archive is uploaded, it's ready to be extracted. We are going to use the CMS source code API endpoint shown on the slide. This API allows extracting a zip file in the user's design manager. For uploading and extracting, we have used a single post request for each, which is possible with a new version of API. More on this, read in HubSpot documentation. So finally, we can create a demo page for end user, right, Roman?
Yeah. We are creating a demo page once the archive is successfully extracted. For this, we need the CMS Pages API endpoint shown on the slide. This API allows creating and publishing site pages in the user's account. Currently, this API is in beta. However, we hope it will be officially released shortly. From what we may say, for now it's worked pretty smoothly. More on this, read on HubSpot documentation, link included. After all the work on the server side, we may display something to the end users. So it's time for them to look at the demo page that our code has created for them in their own HubSpot accounts. Looks like that it, right, Olia?
Pretty yes. These were the main steps to building something like theming. These recently released APIs really make life easier and make such an app possible to build. At this point, our app has done its job. If we have time, let's have a look at few edge cases.
There are 3 different content types in request headers. Each of these content types requires a specific data format, so we need to format the data accordingly. Also, be cautious of name duplication conflicts. When we create something via API, and such file or page already exists in a user account, it leads to errors that need to be foreseen in the app beforehand.
Also, here are the links we have been referring to during our talk. The presentation will be shared with all the attendees, so we'll get a chance to get into details.
Thank you for everyone for being with us today.
In case you would like to connect, you may find us at cohorta.co to talk HubSpot development and more. So ready to answer your questions.
Thank you, guys. This is good stuff. Nicole, let's go to the Q&A. What do you say?
Let's do it. Anything out to you, Chris?
I'm just going to start from the top right here. Okay, so Sandra asked a while back. This is going to be for Parag, I believe. Can we go back to blocking actions? Do they make it more dynamic for the user? What kind of actions could be created?
Yeah, dynamic. So blocking actions are a tricky thing. If your app is blocking the action, of course, the workflow will wait. There are ways to get around that. Of course, if we can allow the user to define through HubSpot functionality how to wait, that is the preferred method, because when an action waits, the user has really no indication of what's happening other than that the action is waiting. So as developers, we have to take care of edge cases of what can happen. And yes, are they dynamic? Of course, because your action is dynamic. It should be dynamic. So, but depending on what your app does, the answer could be different on how you block. Take a look at the documentation. It's very clear, and there's a callback ID as well. That's very important for unblocking actions.
And let's go with Ola and Roman on this one. What were your biggest challenges, in building these apps? Anything you learned in the process?
Biggest challenges?
That's a good question.
Yeah, I would say that the biggest challenge to start, when you start and you in the flow, there are no challenges, like steps after steps after steps, and this get more excited, and the more you head into the finish. So biggest challenge is to start.
Parag, I'd ask the same question of you. Challenges, or go for it.
Yeah, challenges. I mean, reliability is the biggest one that everybody needs to worry about, and have a plan for how you deal with that. A queue-based system to receive those requests and respond to them quickly, or how do you, actually in regards to those blocking calls, I think that's probably the most difficult thing for every app. How would you deal with that if there's app has to respond back? Then, of course, customer support. You have to help your customers, HubSpot users, understand how it works, and you have to really do a great job of putting a knowledge base together and be able to respond at scale. Because if your app is popular, you could have thousands of customers, and if you are a developer, especially if a single developer, you need to have a good process to provide the support.
Cool. And Roman. This one I think is for you from Ronald. He's asking, why are you not using the Node.js library from HubSpot?
I was using it on purpose to make clear requests and see in details how it's work, and to make it possible for educational reason to experiment, so you can see all JSONs, all errors, all is transparent. So it's educational purpose.
And moving on over to you again, Parag. Andre asks, can we use HubSpot serverless functions to build custom workflow actions?
You could, because the custom actions are really, so there's actually multiple ways to talk about serverless. In this context, I believe you're talking about HubSpot serverless. So there's actually a custom code actions, which is a different type of workflow action. And that's probably the better method to work with serverless. But actually it doesn't take anything away. It's just a different way to do it.
And Kieran also asked of you, Parag, what field types are supported in workflows?
I believe it's string or options. I'm not sure if specifically the documentation doesn't say about different types other than those, but it's up to you to try it. It's fairly easy to try it and see what works.
And there's this guy named John McLaren who asked a question here, and we'll start with Parag. So I believe Ola and Roman answered this, but how long have you been building integrations with HubSpot?
2014, very long time. Know the API very well and have gone through the different changes in the API. But I love the new API. You guys are doing an awesome job on the new version 3, and learning and just trying to use it, especially with some of them have Postman access. I think that really makes it easier for developers.
I would like to add my 2 cents to it.
Please do.
I think that it's a bit frustrating that API changes in the process when we are working on it, but still the changes are great and we are loving it.
Yeah.
I'll take that.
Well, the worst version of that is there are no API changes.
So if I don't know much about just the APIs in general, like where do you guys suggest I get started on learning about this? Like what's my baby steps? What would you guys suggest?
I would suggest to go to HubSpot documentation.
Yeah, this new feature to play with different APIs on the side, when you can put portal API key and just send the request and get JSON in the response. It's very cool and intuitively easy to understand what's going on. So this HubSpot documentation with interactive tools pretty much what is needed.
Cool. The John McLaren character asked one more question. If you could ask for anything from the HubSpot team to make your work easier, what would it be? And that's not a loaded question. Get it out there. Parag, you've been here for 2014, so we'll start with you.
Well, I mean, you guys are already doing a great job. I mean, the CLI, especially for CMS development, is awesome. Some of the Postman, I think all of the all the endpoints should have a Postman capability. So, just click a button, enter the Postman requests, and that will get us much faster, getting started much faster. And I would say migrating more of the old documentation to the new, or specifying exactly, okay, which version should we follow? Because if we're on the old version, the custom workflow actions used to be named workflow extensions. So a good connection between those would be good, so that developers don't accidentally develop the old version.
Ola, Roman, you got anything to add to that?
Oh yeah.
I'll start. I work a lot with CMS right now, and I'm using CLI in the process. So I'm very grateful for all the improvements to local development and for great documentation and especially helpful error messages. They are more informative than you get, for example, in Design Manager in HubSpot. So love working with it.
Awesome.
I would ask a new endpoint which allows us to post something in head tag or at the body closing body tag, because we can post for the page individually, but we have not such an endpoint for global posting.
Sounds good. Nicole, I think we can wrap it up here. What do you think?
I think so. Thank you to our presenters today, and to the audience. We will see you in the next session.
See
Bye,
you.
y'all.
Bye.
Thank you.